Boom. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode here. I'm joined today with Marty Hill from Hyper Clean and Pipes and Polishing Podcast, who is cracking open something special as we
Yeah,
speak.
today I'm mixing up a little guava Sao Paulo. It's a
Ooh,
nice little flavor of this fancy LaCroix sparkling water.
all right. Oh,
Mixing that with a little Captain, man. I figure I'm going to
nice.
switch it up a little bit.
I love it. I love it. So me, I'm on my ninth or maybe 11th coffee by now, but mixed with a little of my special rum juice in there too. So I think it's technically like a Brazilian coffee when it.
So you really do you mix rum with your coffee?
Oh yeah, 100%. Not all the time. Like I don't start my morning like that. Well, not most mornings, but yeah, no. It just gives it a nice little something. But it depends on the coffee too.
I don't know if I'd
Ooh.
recommend that. That was
The,
not a good flavor.
no, what's the?
That's kind of weird. I don't
Geez.
even know how to describe it. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh
Sometimes
shit!
that's what happens, right? Like you're mixing shit up, and
You're
sometimes it
like, oh
works,
yeah, let me try this.
sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have to put a little bit more Captain in there. I think.
That's true. Well, yeah, it's funny actually. Usually, like if I'm making a cocktail, for example, I'll make a Negroni. So I take that. You've got your gin, your Campari. Oh, it's that bad, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what that.
geez. Oof. Hey, you ever watch The Office?
No, I never did.
No. Oh
I could
man.
never get into TV shows.
Okay.
My problem was I could never remember when they were on. And everybody's
Uh,
like, "Oh, you got DVR." I'm like, "No, we didn't have DVR back then. Like,
yeah.
like we just didn't have it. Like you had to set the timer if you're gonna. For all
Exactly.
you people that know how to organize your life, that's awesome. You can remember to sit down at the same time every week.
Yeah.
I don't get that opportunity. I'm too blah 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 blah.
So if you
So
miss it, it's just gone.
yeah, I never could get into shows because of that. That's why I like movies. And I would always
Yeah.
because I could get my movie, I could get my thing for 2 hours and I'm good. I have
Yeah.
enjoyed that though. Now that everybody's switched to, streaming and you can just,
On
binge
demand.
watch a whole show
Yeah.
series. That's great.
It's
But
true.
nah,
Yeah.
I could
But
never get into
before,
The Office.
all right. So well, me, I love The Office, but yeah, I got into it because I watched the UK version of it. But anyways, and it was really good. I like UK humor, like British humor. But anyway, so this episode of The Office, though, they had this like energy drink that was an investment, didn't take off too well, and the guy asked what the flavor was, and it was like coconut piss. And anyway, but then later, one of the bosses took a sip of one of the bottles, and he's like, "Ugh, why'd they add coconut? I missed the original." And it's like, so it was just piss before. Yeah, so that's probably what that is you're drinking there. It's the coconut.
And I couldn't get into The Office either because everybody said, right, it's a corporate joke stuff. And I never
Yeah.
never was in that setting. So the ones that I did watch, I just kind of was like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, I don't really understand.
Yeah, I didn't really get it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that's the thing. I don't watch a lot of TV though. I'm kind of like you. Like usually I'll throw something on if I like, it's late, I'm doing some work and I just need something in the background kind of thing. But mostly I actually prefer movies too. But the thing is, my wife can't stand them. It's like rare. We'll watch maybe 2 movies a year together. That's it. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's too much of like a time commitment for the movie. After like an hour, it has to be like a really good movie. If it's after 45 minutes to an hour, she's like, man, she'll fall
Yeah.
asleep, like literally.
So that's exactly what happens with us. Our standstill is
Okay.
she won't watch any sci-fi
Okay. Oh shoot.
That's
At all?
gone.
Like gone.
at all, right? No sci-fi. Well, that
Jesus.
brings in a whole world of fun movies.
Yeah.
And then no horror movies.
Oh,
Okay.
so that's gone. All right.
That's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're left with really action. And
Yeah.
there's only so many action movies that you can watch with a girl. And
That's
that
true.
boils to comedy.
Yeah.
We don't watch any of the drama, some stuff, but I mean, every once in a while, we turned
Yeah.
on the other day. I was just looking through comedies. We turned
Yeah.
on Jack
Which
and
fight?
Jill.
Oh,
Jack and
shit.
Jill.
Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was funny. Like I was like, hold on, I'm gonna need to go. I'm gonna go elevate myself for just a moment. And sure enough, we had a
Exactly.
great fun time. It was
Oh fuck yeah!
hilarious
Especially after
movie.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the only way. That's the best way to watch a movie.
Oh, 100%. And it's funny. A lot of people don't like the Adam Sandler movies, but they are good if you just want that. I just want to laugh at some stupidness. Like that's what they're great for. And they always follow the same kind of recipe. So it's like
It's
what you're
the
gonna get.
same people, the
Yeah,
exact
exactly.
same people,
Exact
It's
same people.
Always. Yeah,
And it'll be like
always.
the same theme. but then
Yeah.
they just like change locations or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Always the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
good
right, so
stuff,
I'm
man.
curious, man. I've heard the convoy is getting to be a bit crazy up there in O
Yeah,
Canada.
there's
And
some.
didn't they even they blocked off that main artery coming into the States and there was people getting
Yeah.
arrested and all kinds of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. They just cleared that one out, the Windsor Bridge. Yeah, because that's a big one. That was a huge one, and so they called in the RCMP, which is kind of like what would be that your equivalent?
Our guard,
Yeah, kind of. I guess
National
the
Guard.
guard, National Guard, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it's like it's not quite the FBI,
The
but it's like
semi-pro. It's the
yeah, yeah,
semi-pro
yeah,
guys.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not the SEALs; they're the retired SEAls. You know, it's yeah. But so they called them in to remove people, things like that. They formed a huge line and just like told people basically to leave. There were some arrests, but it's not quite like most people just left. Like they just like when a couple people got arrested and stuff, and the rest of people just left. Like it wasn't a huge thing. So it's kind of we're pretty peaceful people, to be honest. Like it's not if this was a lot of other countries, that probably would have ended a little differently. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, here they would have started burning buildings. Like
yeah,
they would have gone
exactly.
into some shit. Like,
Taking them apart brick by brick. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh, here we're just kind of like, oh, okay, sorry we
That's why I
caused such
never
a
understood. You like, okay, you want to have a protest? That's awesome. Like, I feel sorry for the shop owners that get
oh
vandalized. What the hell did they
yeah,
do? Like, just
exactly. Like
because they had a shop on their street, then you got to go
exactly.
break up their shit and go tear. Like, that's so
That's the part I always
ridiculous.
hated too. Yeah, and so we have
The-
noticed though. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so there's been some like the news has been reporting things that aren't true and things that are true, whatever. People can watch and judge their own opinions, but one of the problems is we have this thing here at CBC, so it's Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They do news, but it's government owned, government funded, all that stuff. So the articles they put out are very pro whatever the government's believing at that time, but they do it in a way that it seems like it's like free journalism, right? Like it's this is you're getting both sides of the story, but it's very much one direction kind of thing, right? So they were reporting a lot of stuff, but then people started realizing that they were only reporting one side of the story, and they started blocking them from accessing like the people that were there, and they stopped talking to them and stuff like that, and they would bring in other reporters that were more open to hearing both sides of the story. So that was a good thing, but the blockade's still going on here in Ottawa, but the one in Windsor they did break up. The one in Ottawa, I think we're on like day 18 now or something like that. It's been a while. They've been there almost 3 weeks, which is, I mean, it's pretty easy to do when you have trucks there. It's basically a little apartment on wheels. But it's been mostly peaceful. Like there's videos that people are taking, and they're walking around, and people like wave, and they'll be like, "Oh, we love you, freedom." It's people sitting in hot tubs drinking beer. Like it's not compared to protests in a lot of other countries. Like it's quite different,
I
So
mean, eventually, I guess they just have to go back to. I mean, how do you in a month? How do you 2 months? I mean,
yeah, like, and so that's kind of my thoughts on it too. Is like at some point you got to just okay, like what's your goal, So
Mhm.
excuse me, what they want to have happen seems like it is happening. So March 1st, we're supposed to be getting rid of these things, like these mandates.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're still going to have to wear masks in most settings, but a lot of places you won't have to. And things like vaccine passport, like proving that you had it or not, that's going to be scrapped. So stuff like that, which in most settings, like these things make sense, But one of the big issues that people had that they didn't highlight too much was the number of people you can have in your house. Because for a long time, like last 2 years, we've had restrictions on you can only have 5 people at your house. And if you live alone, you can have, I think it was 4. And if you are a family, you can have an additional 1 person or something like that. Like there were these weird rules. And there was a video, New Year's, I think it was New Year's Eve or it was Christmas Eve, one of the two. The police went because a neighbor called in and they kicked down the door and basically arrested some guy's mom and his cousin or something because they had too many people in the house, and they gave them a fine like $1,300 a person or something like that. And so these are the things that people were saying that's what we want to get rid of. Like they weren't so much even anti-vaccine. Most of them were vaccinated. They were just like, look, like we don't want these extra rules. And if we all got the jab, because you said if we get the jab, then we'll be free and all this stuff. Well, we did that. What's next? And then our prime minister went into hiding, and then they got into a big argument at Parliament Hill the other day, and he just got up and left. So it's like you got to talk to the people, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you work for us, bro. Like, what are you doing? And so that's where, saying things like, "Oh, I'm not going to talk to these people because their views are unacceptable." It's like, well, wait a minute. Like, this is a democracy, not a, like,
Is it?
you're not the king, like. So I think that's where a lot of people got their frustrations. However, then they showed up to the city and they start honking their horns all hours of the night. So of course, people nearby got pissed off, and then that's what they were complaining about, is that it caused a division basically. Like, there was the residents that were mad because these people showed up and started honking their horns and stuff. And some of these people, they're like crazy. Like, they believe that you should be like driving in your car by yourself with a mask on. They're like, that's the only way we're gonna beat this. You got to be safe at all times. And it's like, oh man, like, the seatbelts they put on the outside of the car, you got to put those on too. So it's like, it's just nonsense. But there's mixed opinions, mixed views. I'm hoping it ends soon because people need to get back to work. Even myself, I have an office downtown. I can't even access the building. The landlords closed the building. Fortunately, like, our shop is outside of the downtown core, so we're good. But it's just, things like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I do believe in freedom though. But so it's a mess. It's a mess, basically. It's a mess. Yeah, so blockade's still going on. The numbers, I think, have dropped though. The number of people that are there. I think some people have, either because they had to, like, they're there for a long time. You got to go back see your kids, your family, your wife, your job, probably stuff like that. Like, what do you do? But I think a lot of them are realizing too, like, we're getting some of the mandates removed, and like, at what point did you make a point? Like, did you make your message
The guy in the
heard?
hot tub's not there to make a point.
No, he's not that. He's making a point, just not that. He's making. He's just there for a good time. Yeah, it's spring break for him. Yeah, so that's where I think.
So what did you do during, quote unquote? To me, I consider Corona like a 1 month, 2 week period back in like mid March to April of 2020. That's when it was here, and everything got locked down for that 3 weeks or so. I mean, it was in a sense like a spring break. Like,
yeah,
I still came into work every day.
Yeah,
every day I came into work, but
Jeez.
it was a fucking party. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I had zero responsibilities because the world was shut down. I mean,
That's true, yeah.
I was on my yoga mat editing videos is what I was doing. I mean, I had a blast. I mean, I had a good time. Like, it is what it is. Like, I worked every day and had a blast doing it, but I kind of really enjoyed the no pressure, right? I mean, if the world shut down and you're still moving, that just meant I was ahead. Like, I was like,
because everything else was shut down. Yeah.
Like, everybody else is closed down. Cool. I'm going to just take my time to kind of move my way on up a little bit. But I enjoyed the nobody on the streets. I enjoyed the no pressure. I enjoyed the real chill moments of it. What did you do?
So for us, same thing, worked. Like, our shop never closed down, so that kept going. My other businesses as well, they stayed open. The only one that closed down for a brief period of time was our printing shop, but that wasn't really closed down because of like a mandate or a law or anything like that. It just made sense because shipping was going to be a nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, it was going to be so expensive.
And remember, at that time, we didn't know how it really contracted. So
it's true, yeah.
If you were gonna send, print
send
stuff
packages
for people,
and stuff, yeah.
No, I mean the print stuff for people. If you're gonna print stuff for people, like, you're like, here, I'm printing this and giving it to you. Like, to me, that would make me
true,
go,
the hand to hand.
I could see why that would kind of.
One area where it was awesome though is on the flip side, when people had to start printing, like, stickers for like stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask, all that kind of stuff. Business exploded, which was awesome. So that was good, and not to say that like capitalizing on the situation in the world, but at the same time, hey, that's business, right? So it was an opportunity. I saw it. We took it. It just worked out well. But but for us, it was not a month and a half. For us, it was we just finished they called it phase 3, I think, of like reopening. We finished that 2 or 3 months ago, and then they closed it back down again. So we were like locked down. They even went into stores and they put tape across aisles, and they said, this is non-essential. You can't buy stuff that's there. And when you looked at some of it, it was like there was a whole row of books, for example, because our grocery stores, a lot of them sell books, and they would block that whole section off, and they would say books are non-essential. And I remember because my daughter, she wanted a comic book. She loves comics. We went in to get her one, and the whole aisle was like boarded up, couldn't buy it. And then I remember I got a bunch of canned stuff. She's like, I don't know how long this is going to go on for, so let me just make sure we have a bunch of canned
And
goods.
did you get into the food rationing stuff? I
Uh,
almost did. Like
sort of.
almost. I
Yeah.
was on that little fringe of. I mean, I bought a bunch of water. I bought a bunch of toilet. So
Yeah.
my funny thing though was, I thought I was buying a bunch of toilet paper from Amazon,
Yeah.
but it
Oh, no.
turns out that I'd clicked this other thing that I had seen that
Oh,
was
shit.
seemed to be a better deal, and I just wasn't paying attention. It was kind of like shit had just hit the fan. I was like, oh gosh, I got to hurry up and get these. So I was
Yeah.
just clicking buttons as fast as I could.
What did you buy?
Fucking paper towels.
Oh, shit.
I had fucking 2 cartons of paper towels,
Oh,
big
my
ass fucking boxes of paper towels. And I'm like,
Jesus.
and there was a moment I ran out of toilet paper. Like I had to go get toilet paper
Jesus.
from people. Like the
Oh,
stores
man,
were
that's
all
crazy.
gone. You couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh,
Even the
man.
cheap
Yeah,
shit, you couldn't find it.
it's true. Yeah. It was like that here, but like we have a bidet in the house. So like I wasn't too worried because like we don't use that much toilet paper anyways.
I mean,
But-
I've seen them, and at one
Yeah.
time younger in life, I thought about sitting on one just to, you know,
You know
just
what?
to have that experience. But
Honestly,
I mean, what is it really like? Because
You know what,
I
man?
still even water shooting up there, I'm like, I gotta wipe at some point, don't I?
yeah. And in the end, but you use like 90% less toilet paper, and all you're wiping away is just water, right? But honestly, feels so good, so clean, and the difference, no joke, and the difference, Marty, it's like
Like actually, it feels good, man.
it does feel good. Yeah, I sometimes I don't even have to go. I just use it. But you know
I
what
don't
the
think I
difference
tell
is?
many people.
It's it's like going from dial up to high speed. No joke. It's like the difference is night and day, man. It's like going from a Honda Civic to a Ferrari. Like no joke. Difference is night and day. Yeah, you
I
got
mean, it's a lot of high pressure. Then, like, do you sometimes like
you can adjust
squeeze
the
it
pressure.
close because you're like, oh, geez, that might have got up there.
So depending who used it first, because you can adjust the pressure, and you can adjust the angle, and you can adjust the temperature, everything. Oh yeah, it's fancy.
Just the temperature.
Yeah, if you want it warm, you want it cold, you want it, lukewarm, room temperature, whatever you
Huh.
want. Yeah, I'm telling
You
you.
know, as much as we're going through toilet
Yeah.
paper in my house, I
See?
I
yeah.
get it, but
Oh, man.
that's definitely here in Oklahoma. I don't know, man. That's you don't find those very often at all.
I
Like,
imagine, yeah, but you know what? It's cleaner though. It's funny. Like North America is one of the only countries that uses like toilet paper to this equivalency. Like most places, like bidets and things like that, that's the commonplace thing.
or if you're over in Southeast Asia, well,
Yeah.
most part. So in China, yeah, they don't really use restrooms. You're right.
Yeah.
I was walking next to a monk. I thought it was really cool. I was walking down the streets of China and I was like, oh, there's a monk. Cool. And I was just walking along. The monk was gone. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look back
Yeah.
and he's over behind a car,
Yeah.
skirt lifted up, taking a shit right in the middle of the fucking street. Right.
When
So
you
you
gotta
either
go.
got that in China or in
Yeah.
Southeast Asia, you got don't ever shake somebody's left hand. Right. So
Yeah.
that's why they always put their left hand below or here. Or they always hide their left hand if they're going to shake their hands. You do not touch their left hand.
Oh shit! Damn. Okay. Good to
Yeah,
know.
because
We'll
you
leave
go into the public restrooms there. There's very
Yeah.
limited toilet paper. You have to buy it actually from a little
shit.
kiosk thing. If you're a white guy and you go, oh hell no, I got to go buy toilet paper.
Yeah.
And they've got the little bin, but they don't have a bidet there, but they got a little place to wash your hands. But basically, they
That's
would
how
wipe
you
them. They wipe themselves with their
themselves?
hand,
Jesus.
and that's why you never touch their left hand. That's what they always use.
Holy shit! Life hack right there. Just that's oh,
No, life hack. Don't touch the left hand. That's the life
That's
hack.
what I
Not-
mean. That's
not-
the
don't
life
wipe
hack.
your. Yeah. Let's stay
Not
with
the
toilet
wiping
paper and bidets, please. Let's stay with toilet paper and bidets because I think you have seen and the way I've seen,
yeah.
especially here, nobody washes their fucking hand. That's still. I
Exactly,
really
it's true.
enjoyed during the Corona. I really enjoyed how clean everybody was.
Yes.
Now it's
exactly.
like,
I just
what
hope
the
it
fuck
stays.
happened?
That's-
Did not. Why did everybody go back to being disgusting? Like, let's go back to being clean. What's wrong with being
exactly.
clean?
Like it's pretty easy too. Like
Wash your fucking
sanitize.
hands.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't rocket science.
Oh,
I know. I laugh at the fact that they still have like advertisements on TV teaching people, how to wash their hands. Like we'll watch YouTube and there's commercials that come on in between, and some of the ads are like from our government, and it's telling people like how to properly like blow your nose, clean your hands and stuff. And I'm like, really? Is this like stuff that adults need to figure out? Like, I mean, public school system let them down, man.
No doubt.
But
All
yeah,
right, so
blockade
yesterday
going
was
on.
yesterday was a big day, right?
So yesterday, yeah, Valentine's Day and my wife's
day
birthday.
for you?
So it's like 2 in 1. Yeah, but not 2 in 1 for gifts, but 2 events in 1. Yeah.
I
So-
went 0 for 2 on gifts. I did
Oh,
no
shit.
gifts. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Oh, shit.
I gotta today go try and dig
Make up.
myself out. At
Yeah,
least
yeah.
you had a birthday, and you can almost double into one, like you said, right? So what was her age? What she turned?
So 38. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. And then me, I'm 37 right now, so she's a little bit older. But yeah.
Cougar.
Cougar. I know, right? I tell her that all the time. But
I never could, man. I never, even my age or a year. Like one time out of my divorce, I dated somebody that was a couple years older than me,
yeah.
and it was
It's
fun
just-
for it was fun for a couple moments. And I was like, I just can't do this. Like I never could. I always had to date younger. Always.
Yeah.
It's that a traditional guy
Yeah.
that every year in school,
Yeah.
freshman meat. Here's that fresh meat. Like
Yeah.
that's the way it was, man. I always,
Jeez,
even in
yeah.
college, like I've always dated younger. And
Yeah.
my girlfriend's now, she's 36. I'm 43.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
was 42 and she was 27. That was nice. That was fun.
Oh shit. Yeah. See that gap is yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does make a
Sometimes
difference.
wake
It
up,
always-
you'd be
yeah.
the old man that wakes up and you go, hell yeah, goddamn.
Yeah. Exactly. Life ain't too bad.
Yeah, I ain't too bad.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So what'd you
for
guys
us-
do? What'd you guys
so-
do to celebrate?
Yeah, so we don't usually do the 2-for-1. I try and separate them because like before, all her old boyfriends and stuff, that's what they did. They did the 2-for-1, or they just forget completely. And no shots fired, Marty. But so for us, dropped the kids off. I went to visit my parents, dropped the kids off with them for the weekend, and then you can't hear.
Now I can. Yeah, it got
Oh.
silent there for a second.
Oh, that was weird. So yeah, I went to drop the kids off, and then basically had a nice dinner here. Bought a massage table, so gave a massage as well. So yeah, went all out.
Gave the massage.
Yeah.
Not bought a massage table and had somebody do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now we own the table, so it's yeah. But gave the massage. But now I can also get massage as well. So did that, and then got her some clothes, some gifts. Bought her a greenhouse because she grows a lot of food stuff. So got her a new greenhouse, grow lamps, all this stuff. And yeah, it was nice. But we had a nice dinner. I made T-bone steak with butterflied lobster tail on top. It was nice, Yeah. And then
Damn,
set
Sean, you
up-
do it right,
set
huh?
up the candles and everything. Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, man. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Me,
How do you
that's
do?
like,
How do you do your steak?
yeah. So she likes it like medium rare, and then me. But I in this case it's too cold to do barbecue. Usually I'll do barbecue, but in this case just cast iron pan and good to go. Love the cast iron. Oh my god.
Okay, so you literally, it's just so cold you can't even go out to the.
Yeah, I
your
wouldn't
grill?
even- yeah, like it's brutal. Like the last, what's weird? We've had days where it was so warm it felt like spring, and then the next day it would be like world record temperatures. Like we had in Fahrenheit, I think it was like -12, something like that. It's freezing cold. Yeah, but the day before, like the ice was melting. You could see the concrete, like no more snow or ice. It was amazing. Next day, flash freeze. And so the last 2 days were the same thing. So Valentine's Day was, man, it was like, I think they said record, it was like the 3rd or 4th coldest place on the planet. Yeah, brutal. Yeah. And then,
Hard pass. Hard
yeah,
pass.
I know, right? Yeah. And see, and my guys, they all showed up to work still. So no excuses. You got to work the list, man. You got shit to do, get it done. But yeah, so, but something I wanted to talk about today though was discounts. I mentioned it before our call, but I've seen a lot of stuff in the chats about discounts, and I'm going to get to that. Is that because it's been so cold and stuff like that, that a lot of people would think, okay, it's cold, there's a blockade, no one's coming in. Maybe discounts would be a good way to like bring people in and stuff. But I wanted to get your feedback on what you think about discounts. And bringing
Yeah,
people in the door.
discounts. Sheesh. Man, that's a tough one, right? Like, absolutely right. In marketing, discounts bring people in.
Mhm.
In detailing, we question if those are the right people that we want in,
Mm,
right?
100%.
Like,
Is that the
could
right
it,
person to work on your vehicle?
yeah, is that the right
Yeah.
person that we want in our business? Now, if you're young in business and you need people into your funnel, quote unquote,
Mhm.
discounts do that, right? But then are those the right people to grow your business long term? Will you be able to keep those people coming on a regular basis? Or was that discount that you gave to the minivan that took you 6 hours? Did you
Are
know,
they
what
ever coming back?
ever coming? Was it worth it?
Yeah.
I don't know that I always say there's no one way to run your business. I really don't.
100%.
And I always harp on the people that are these quote unquote trainers that tell you how this is how you should run your business. But they
Mhm.
haven't actually been in a detailing business for, I don't know, 20 years, like
Yeah.
10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
and then how many of them are working for another company, but they're going to teach you business
How to
while
do
they're
the
an
business side.
employee,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I'm an employee, but let me tell you how to run your business.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Exactly. You don't know, you don't know your ass from your elbow. And
No.
I agree. And because the guy that
So
buys the discount, he's not buying from your company. He's just buying based on the price. It's just, well, it was the cheapest price or whatever.
right. And is that wrong? It's not wrong. If you need, right? I mean, if you just simply you're at that point where you go, I need people. I
Mhm.
need to clean a car today. I don't have cars to clean. I need this guy that's over here twiddling his thumbs and I'm pissed off at because he's not doing what I think he should be doing on these cars. I need another funnel where I just get these random cars that come in. So I keep this guy busy and hey, I make an extra $15 an hour off of him.
Exactly. But at least you
That
got
ain't a
them
lot
coming
to
in.
get giddy up about, is it? It's not a
Yeah.
lot that gives you a chubby, but does it get cars coming in? Does it keep movement? There is
100%.
something in business about volume, right?
Yeah.
Like there
100%.
is something about just having volume coming in your shop. The interesting part as owning a car wash is we gave discounts all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we did it all automatic and they could go in and, press their own code.
Put in the
So
code and then, yeah.
the people at the street didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what we always found is the more times that there was a couple cars that came, hey, there might be a couple more. If you
Other
could
people
get
would
if
see
you
the
could get a
cars.
couple stacked up, you were
Yeah.
about to get 6 stacked up. Is there
It's
something
true.
about the way people see business and they just see people there that makes them want to be a part and want to, oh, okay, they're a busy shop. Like, hey, I should come do business with them because I see a lot of cars here.
100%. So when
You know, I
something
mean,
looks
is it,
busy, I agree. I
yeah,
think it's kind of like a visual review. It monkey see, monkey do. If other people are trusting this guy to do work, so you want to go there too. Like if you're driving down the road and you're kind of feeling hungry or something, you see this restaurant in the plaza and there's no cars in the parking lot and there's no one inside. It's still a place you could probably get some good food. But if you see, just down the block, you see another place and there's, tons of people waiting outside or something, you might be like, wow, I have to wait a little bit, but the food must be good. You instantly would think that in your head. So I think that volume 100%, but also I find volume solves a lot of other problems too. Is that, for example, no shows, like no shows are going to happen, but when these guys, they've got 3 jobs on their calendar, if you have 2 no-shows, that's a big deal. Like you just had like 65% or more of your clients just disappear for the week. But if you've got 40 jobs on your calendar and you've got 3 or 5 or even 10 no-shows, still a high number. But compared to the volume you have, you're still busy. So it's okay. It's not the same. So I think volume helps that way. The material you're going to buy, like the inventory, you're going to have more of it on hand and get a discount because you're buying so much more of it. There's benefits to volume all around. And if you have, you know, 200 customers in a month, if you find a way to sell each of them something that's $10 more, you're making a lot more money versus if you've got 6 guys, now you've got to upsell them something for like $1,000 to make that extra, So volume, I'm a big fan of volume. I think that and
oh, and
we do
speaking of,
discounts, but we keep them hidden. Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
so in speaking of discounts,
Yeah,
and speaking of upsells, there is
100%.
a theory in business that you give people a discount to get them in the door.
Yeah,
But then
the
it's our
loss leaders.
responsibility.
to
is
upsell them.
yeah, is to
Yeah,
do the upsell. So what
100%.
does that look like for you?
Yeah, so for us, so a lot of people have laughed and criticized, and in the groups, they're all like, "Oh, I would never clean a car for that price. I won't even get out of bed for that price because we had a promo running, $120 full inside and out. Didn't even care how dirty the car was." Okay? But all the things that these other guys would, take care of for free in their $600 detail package, like the pet hair and stuff like that, we were charging extra for that. So it was $120 full inside and out, but it was managing their expectations when they came in. So they would come in, we would explain to them, like, hey, listen, this is what you can expect from this detail. This is what your car is going to look like. I see you have, clearly you've got like 5 dogs or something. Your back seats are just atrocious. We can handle that for you too. It's going to be an extra $75. And oh, we can do this for you. And it's going to be an extra little bit of this and that. Next thing you know, by the time the guy's leaving, that ticket has just tripled in value, right? So that was one way for us. But the big thing for us too was just focused on making a process that the $120 that we were doing these details was profitable, but it wasn't about that. It was about getting them in the door, because I didn't want to spend a lot of time arguing with someone about why our interior detail package was $350. Because at that point, he's got a big decision to make where his wife is probably saying, you know what, this weekend, Marty, you're cleaning it instead, because we're not spending $350 on that, because she's like, I could get a mani pedi done for that. I could get this and that done for that. Like, she's looking at that. So they're going to get into an argument. Now I've got to explain to this guy and try and justify it. Instead, just $120, like, I'm paying my guys, a decent wage, but we're still making a huge profit on that. Detailing, the margins are massive because the product you're using is so cheap in comparison. Like, it's like you're making a pair of Nikes that they make for like $2. You're doing the same thing for like $2, and then you're selling it for $150. There's no problem.
Yeah, you should literally have 30 to 40% profit.
Oh,
pure profit. Yeah, easily, right?
Yeah,
easily.
And
but we tell people you should spend at least 40 to 50% on labor. And that blows people's mind because they're used to, man, I just want to pay my guys 8, 10. Now we've seen ads, local detailers here putting ads out on social and saying they're paying 12 to 15 bucks an hour. Listen, you could go down at Amazon and get 20. You could go flip burgers and get 18. Like, exactly. So detailers aren't really used to paying what other people.
Yeah.
More in theory of what they should. We've always said you should spend, and that's why I just do a percentage, right? Yeah. When I'm paying out people, it's a percentage. You get 50% of whatever comes through.
Yeah. So
because I've always felt that that's your biggest charge anyway. When we didn't do that, we did hourly and people had 6 hours they worked on their car or 4 hours or whatever it is. I mean, we just always found our labor rates being somewhere around 30 to 40%. But if we would pay them at that 40 to 50%, they loved it. It was easier for us. We knew what it was at.
And they tend to work more efficiently because they need to get stuff done. You know? Yeah.
And here's the most interesting part, which people don't understand. You start building out that system and you get guys that know that they can make really good money. And then you become the business owner that just gets the cars in.
Yeah.
Where does that go? Because I'm telling you, I've sat in the meetings with people that own on-site companies at dealerships. While there's a lot of detailers that will frown upon a dealership, listen, I've seen the guy's watch. I've seen his car. I've seen the way he dresses. I've seen how many locations at dealerships he services, and at $125, if you got 50 of those a day that you're making $30 profit on, 100 of those a day, not a week, but a day.
Exactly.
What does your bank account look like when you're turning in $30 to $40 profit straight to your bank account every day? I mean, it really is amazing.
Difference. I'm so surprised that they frown on dealerships. Like it's such a strange thing to me because they're approaching dealerships with a retail mentality. They're trying to say, "Oh well, I want the dealership to pay me $350 for an interior clean or something." It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But they're going to be able to bring you volume. That's the difference. So that's the trade-off: is that you're getting the volume, but you're doing it at a wholesale rate. Like that's how business works. But they're going to keep you busy. And then what you do is you find someone who's going to do that work, so you're not doing it. You can stay doing the $350 details if you want to and have someone else do the dealership work, but at least they keep you busy. And then I tell you, the minute you branch out into anything else, those dealerships having that network, your income's going to be 20 times what it was before. Like for us, when we introduced PPF, oh my God, all the new car deliveries, oh geez, it's insane. It's astronomical in comparison to the detailing side of it. I'll give them detailing for free if I had to, if it means I can keep the PPF contracts. 100%. I mean, don't tell them that, and I hope they're not listening. But but the point is that that's how profitable those things can become, and it comes with the volume. And these are places with high turnover of vehicles. Isn't that what you want? Like if you had a customer and he owned 50 cars and he changed out his cars every month, that would be an awesome customer to have, and I'm sure you'd give him a deal. So just because he's got Toyota on the top, does that mean you don't want to work with him for some reason? Like anyway, that's why we work with
John, there's a
dealerships.
lot of your detailers that are customers that are going, what did he just like? Are you? It's not. I don't know if your dealerships want to hear that. Some of your detailers might not want to hear that.
Oh, like detailer customers?
No,
or-
like your customers that are, using Orbis X.
Oh, what about working with dealers?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to work with dealers?
I think that was your question.
Oh, that is my question. You should work with dealers.
But there's plenty of people that are listening to this or that are inside Orbis X that
That's true.
they have been absolutely against
working with dealerships.
Actually, their theory is that it actually deframes your business.
Oh, I disagree completely. I think it's all in how you approach it. I think there's not necessarily a right and wrong way because anything depends on how your business operates, right? So, for example, colder climates or if you're mobile and don't have a shop, dealerships can be a godsend for you. I think for sure because they've got a location. They often have trouble keeping detailers around internally, so they prefer to outsource that. So if you can get in there, you can usually get in under contract and you have a guaranteed flow during periods where you might be slow if you're a mobile guy and you have to work outside, stuff like that. But also, I don't think that offering one client a particular rate or discount or something like that takes away from what you're offering to the general public. You should be charging more to the general public, 100%. They're getting a very specialized service in comparison to the dealerships. The dealerships, the clean they're looking for is going to be different. Most of the time, these will be like pre-sale or post-sale cleanings. It's not for their personal driver. They're not going to be driving these cars. They want it to be presentable in a certain way. And so I think that with the volume they're bringing you, that's where it makes more sense. Definitely don't shy away from dealerships. And really, at the end of the day, it's up to you to negotiate the terms. Like you can say yes or no to something. You're not forced into it. But definitely, there's some guys that are using Orbis X. They only deal with dealerships, and they've said I don't want to deal with the headache and hassle. You're talking to 800 customers in a day versus he's got 5 contacts that he talks to different dealerships, and he's handling 400 cars a month. It depends on your personality. Like if you like driving out to people's houses and being out there on the road, then that might make sense for you to stay with the retail market. But I would bet. I'll put $500 on it right now. If someone wants, show me, start working with dealerships. And if your income doesn't improve in 6 months, I'll give you $500 cash. No joke. And I know for a fact, if you work with dealerships, you will make more money, 100%. And if anything, the extra experience of pumping cars out faster is going to make your retail customer detail jobs better, faster. And you're going to learn the biggest thing I've learned through detailing is that focus on what you can deliver within that price point to the customer, not what the customer is expecting. And what I mean by that is talk to the customer about the expectations of whatever package you're pushing to them. So this is what you can expect from this. This is what you can hope to see. If the guy shows up at the end of the detail with a flashlight and starts going through, under the seats, looking to see if he did this and that you haven't done your job right in the beginning. And so you're probably going to have to bite the bullet on that job, but you'll learn for next time to talk to the customer and set the expectations. And so
there are some dealerships that they're not fun to work with. There's plenty of those, big stores. Then there's those smaller, buy here, pay here type of places.
We finance everybody.
We finance everybody. And some of those, those go back and forth, right? Some of those that I did
it's hit and miss for sure.
Were good accounts. But
Yeah.
then some of them were assholes, and they were the guy
100%.
looking under the fucking
Yeah,
seat.
yeah.
And they're going, "I paid you $85. Why the fuck did you know?" Like,
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting you to
Like-
reupholster everything. Yeah. So there will be pros and cons to working with them. And sometimes too, you could be working with a good account and it could turn bad or vice versa too. So I think though with that, it's a percentage game. So the odds of you working with a dealership that's bad compared to working with customers that are bad, you're probably going to encounter more retail customers that are going to give you headaches than you would dealerships, in my opinion. And the one advantage really is that if you start talking to a dealership and you don't like the terms or things don't really work out well, unless you escalate the situation, it's rare that a dealership's going to go on your Facebook page or your Google page and leave you a 1-star review and be like, this guy didn't pick up my phone call or something. But that happens a lot with customers, right? So I think that you're putting yourself in less risk by reaching out to some dealerships in terms of dealing with assholes. It's just a fact. You're going to encounter fewer of them.
and right, generally, if you land some dealerships and they're
Yeah.
happy with your work, it's years of business.
Oh,
Years.
easily. Yeah. And like we've had some that signed on with us day one. And basically like we started May 2019 and they were with us, I think not day one, like day one. It was probably around August. I think it was around August. We started hitting up dealerships and they've been with us ever since. And we've seen them like expand their operations. One of the guys was one of those, like we finance every no credit, good credit, bad credit, like as long as you have a pulse. And he's now grown. Actually, he's got a lot more professional operation. He's bought his own building. He's got tons of cars now, and we nurtured that relationship. And he's just been happy with everything. He was a guy that a lot of other detailers turned down. And initially, he was concerned about our reliability and this and that. So he asked us all kind of questions, grilled us. We could have looked at that and just said like, oh, it's too many questions, not worth the headache. But we sat down, talked with him, and we realized he had a bad experience with a couple of detailers before. So he was just concerned it was going to happen again. He's been great. And especially because one thing with him is they pay the exact same amount every time, flat rate. They drop off cars. Sometimes they drop off cars and it's like, this car's already been cleaned. And he's like, well, just do what you can, touch it up a little bit and send it back. Takes us maybe 5-10 minutes. We send them the same bill. Boom, they pay. Sends us some cars sometimes, and it's like was a pack of chimpanzees living in here? Like what happened? He gets the same flat rate. He's happy. He knows what to expect every time. He's like, I can expect the car to look like this. And it's going to be this price. He's not getting them showroom ready. Like we're not. There might be the occasional, like maybe there was a little hair left somewhere or something, and he realizes that the customers that are buying his cars, they're buying cars in the $3,000 to $10,000 mark. So that's.
Do you think detailers don't like doing that work because it's not show type? Right. You just said showroom. They're
so.
not showroom. And I
Yeah.
go, oh, maybe that's what it is because we can't put out the photos. We can't,
Yeah.
we
I think there's
can't
a
go
big
in
part
and
of that. So I did a.
it's more,
I went,
it's more that like, I don't want to say grunge, but it's
yeah.
that it's a different style of detailing
It
than,
is.
paint correction and coatings.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's where they need to realize, are they in business or is this satisfying more of a hobby type of mentality? And by that, I mean, you could be making money still, but are you in it for the cars themselves? Like you like working on nice cars, making them look good? Is this like one of those like pimp my ride kind of scenarios? Or is this like a genuine business? Because like sit down and literally think about that for your own business if you're listening. Because for us, for example, I went to my shop the other day. I had to drop off a shop vac, and I went through. And one comment a lot of people always say is they're like, "Man, you got to do something with your floors." And I'm like, I don't give a shit about my floors. Customers don't go back there. I could care less. I don't own the building. We're in a huge like building. I could care less what the floors look like. That's a workspace. Cars come in dirty, they leave clean. Period. The floors are clean. They're just bare concrete. I didn't get like the fancy Swiss tracks or whatever, all this stuff. I could care less, honestly. It's just not worth it. There's other places I'd rather put that money for the business. It's not important to me. And I was looking around my shop and I thought the same thing. I was like, a lot of people would probably look in here and be like, oh, geez, well, where's all the Ferraris and this and that? Like that's not our focus with the business, because we do get clients that we have. One guy comes every Friday, McLaren. We get customers like that, no problem. We don't even put those out online it's not the customers we're trying to attract, because if we put all of our marketing efforts there, we're going to get such a small pool of people compared to, I want the daily drivers. Do you know how many, like, strength in numbers, guys? Like, there's millions of those guys. My favorite customers, construction workers. They like their trucks clean. Their trucks are always filthy. The minute they step on a job site, that truck is like just completely trash, especially the branded ones. I love those accounts, because those fleet accounts, the guy that owns it wants to pull up to a job site and he wants to see all of his guys on that are there with the trucks. They all look clean and pristine. When it's covered in drywall or it's covered in, dirt and debris and all kinds of shit, he wants them clean. Those are the best clients. He pays his bills. We're quick in and out. They take the truck, they're gone. High turnover. It's, what else could you want? And so we sat down and decided that was our business model. So sit down and decide what yours is. If you want the Ferraris, go for it. Just understand that you're going to have to find ways to increase that volume or the ticket price, because your pool of customers is small, and the minute that one of those guys is upset for some reason, maybe you accidentally dinged his door or something, he gets upset. Guess what? He's in the only Ferrari group in your town, and now you're not working on another Ferrari. You know what I mean? So it's that fast that you're putting your business at risk. So think about that.
Yeah, there's many more lawyers rolling around in a good Mercedes. It's not a
exactly.
But it's just a good car. There's plenty of people rolling around in a Lexus. It's a
100%
really nice car, but it's not in need of a full paint correction and quote unquote lifetime coating, right?
Exactly.
Here at HyperClean, that's why we've been so specific. 1, 2, and 3 years. Not to say that 5 wouldn't be the thing, but 1, 2, and 2. 1, 2, and 3. That's where the direction of where I've always seen the massive volume of daily drivers. Where
100%.
If you're going to want to use coatings and you want to make money at selling a coating and installing, the biggest volume is going to be on the daily drivers, and they're going to want a 1, 2, or 3 year protection.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talk to a guy with a, Toyota Camry. He's probably not thinking about 10 years of protection, or especially lifetime. He's probably like, okay, I'm driving this till my lease is up. That's 48 months from now. And then I'm in something else, and he's like, I could care less.
I don't think that people really understand how many business owners, well-to-do different, people in society, let's say above $100,000, let's just put that in there. How many of those individuals lease cars?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah. It's rare actually that people do the finance side in a lot of tax brackets, just because it's like having to worry about the maintenance, repairs, and all this kind of shit. And most of these people, they trade their cars in frequently and often. So they're like, well, this just makes sense.
Oh, but yeah, at least every 3 years, 2 to 3 years, the average, even if you get into that higher echelon clientele that are driving the nicer Mercedes or maybe a Porsche here and there, or, a Lexus or you could say a Ford truck now, right? A Ford truck's going to cost you 75 grand, even those guys, they're not keeping them 7, 10 lifetime. They're not doing it. It's a waste of their money, and it doesn't build long-term business for you. And that 1, 2, and 3 years is the way to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. Cause I find that is something a lot of people don't know. It's the leasing side. And that, like, what a lot of people understand is that vehicles depreciate so fast that when you're getting a new one or even a one, exactly.
This is the only time in the automotive history as you've ever found that you could buy a car a year ago and sell it now for more than it was. It's never happened before.
Yeah, it's true. I know. Like Nick, he just picked up another G-Wagon, 85,000 over retail. And there's already buyers lined up. But here's the thing. You buy one now for like 370, but there's buyers in China and Japan that are paying $500,000 US for them. What's the cost to ship it over there? Nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, so it just makes sense. So like, you can't lose with
sounds like
ones.
Greg telling everybody buy G-Wagons.
Start detailing it of a G-Wagon. Jesus. Oh man, how's he doing, man?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
hadn't talked to him in a bit. He seems to be
Okay.
doing good. Seems to be doing good.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, been a minute. Oh man, that's funny. Man. But yeah,
Cool.
I think that so in terms of discounts, I do think that discounts have their place. What you're better off to do though is sell value. And so even if that comes with dealerships, just to go full circle here, I think that you can discount prices with dealership, but you can also sell value. So like what we did with that guy that comes in, sometimes he brings a clean car, sometimes he brings a really filthy car. He gets a flat rate. We sold him the value that he can expect what he's going to pay every time, so that when he goes and he's at the auction and he's going to pick up a car, he knows fixed price. This is what he can add on for all his other expenditures before he sells it. So he can make a decision to buy that car or not. And so we sold him on the value of what we bring to the table. And we just said, look, we can give you a fixed price for each one. But what it means is you bring us a car that's pretty clean, we're coming out ahead. But you bring us one that's dirty, you're coming out ahead. So it's a give and take, but he keeps us with the volume. So we sold him the value. And then other guys, you can do the same thing. You can say, listen, my prices will be, less than retail, but they're going to be up there. But what I'll do is this, maybe I'll give you guys like coupons you can give to everybody, not a coupon per se, but like a certificate or something to every customer that buys a car, and they get a post-sale cleaning. They just have to come see us, and it'll be a fixed price package or something. And he works it into the price. He does whatever he has to do. And then the guys come see afterwards, and they're happy. They're going to leave 5-star review for the dealership, 5-star review for you. Life is happy. So sell the value of what you can do. You don't necessarily have to discount it. And that goes for customers too. I think retail with them as well. Instead of discounting, everyone's doing the 25% off or 50% off or whatever. Don't go that route. Instead, throw in stuff. So maybe talk to Marty and be like, hey, listen, okay, how much can I get, the Slick for, the Uno? Buy yourself some. And now you can say, and raise your prices $50, and then say, and we're throwing in a free year's coating. You know what I mean? So that kind of with a lifetime guarantee of happiness.
Yeah, I like it. That's the best customer. Not,
yeah.
Hey, let me slap this on and you won't see you ever again. But
yeah, exactly.
Lifetime of servicing the customer, of regularly working with them. Most
Exactly.
people don't understand. I still clean from 2003. I started in 2002, but the customers I'm referring to, I picked up in 2003. We still clean their cars.
Jeez,
Still.
that's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
See?
19 years ago.
Yeah. And just think your cost of acquisition was a one-time thing for that customer. And now it's yielding dividends every year. Like, it's amazing. It's like, just think you're planting a seed.
What don't I do? I don't put lifetime coatings on this car.
Yeah. That's a mistake, Marty. That's a mistake. you have to put multi-generational coatings. It's good for your grandkids' lifetime. Yeah. We're never going to see your whole family again. Jeez, craziness. Well, man, this was a good chat, though. Definitely. So, all right, cool. So we'll do it again next week. Same time, same place. Awesome.
Sounds good,
man.
brother.
Thanks for everything. I got to pick up my kids again. Yeah. It's about
Have
to
a
be
great week.
noisy in the house.
Yeah.
All right, you too, Marty. Talk soon.
See you, man.
See you.